suggestions for keeping up your morale during the process. So let's start with Kate.
I guess I'd say just talking to other people, telling people when you pass, and talking to people that are doing the same thing as you are. I think that's a huge benefit to taking the test. Just finding a group that you can get support from makes a big difference, just to be able to talk about it.
Yep. Okay. Joe?
Yeah, I think it's key to just be very careful about not burning out. I think it's very easy to study too much for these exams, and then you're just overwhelmed on test day. So still take breaks, like people were saying earlier, still find time to exercise, find time to do the personal things that you want to do, and just kind of studying around that. So
awesome. Megan, how about you?
I would say that one of the keys is giving yourself some leeway if you fail, talking yourself through it so you don't get that discouragement and then stall out again. Most people fail a test, most people fail 2 tests. Like the talking around the office with other people helps you kind of get over that, like, well, this isn't like the end all that I failed, now I'm done. It's not a one and you're out. You just keep going. However you need to motivate yourself to do that.
Yep. I think that's awesome. Courtney, how about you?
I definitely agree with that I was so discouraged the first time I failed, and I just thought I wasn't cut out to be an architect. And so many people fail, and those are the people that keep going and end up passing and becoming architects. And I also talked about this before, but I really liked setting goals and giving myself rewards, like whether it was a long weekend away or a fancy dinner or a spa day or something. It's very necessary to reward yourself after working so hard.
Yeah. I think it's maybe worthy for everyone who's on the phone, who's or who's on the webinar here, who's worried about failing. I can tell you that I failed one of my exams. Anybody else? Can anyone else sort of confess? We're going to have deep ARE confessions here. Anyone else fail any of these exams?
Yeah, I did. It's Courtney. I failed one 10 years before I started them all, and then I failed the easiest vignette, I thought, on BDCS. Mm-hmm. And the roof vignette, it was so easy, and I still don't know why I failed.
Yeah.
That was so frustrating.
Yep. Anybody else?
I knew it back and forth.
Does anybody else want to reveal their deep secret that they failed one of the exams?
This is Kate. I also failed a test. I failed PPP.
Yeah.
Which was pretty disheartening. I also failed the vignette. So it's a hard score report to get back as one where the only thing that's in the red is the vignette, for sure. And I will say it did trip me up for a while. It took me a while to get back into it, and I really regret that. And I think had I talked about it more and owned up to it more, I probably would have gotten back into it and started taking exams faster. It can be a big hit to your morale, but it's so important just to realize that it's not supposed to be easy to get through these tests. It's hard, and it's okay to fail, and a lot of people fail. It's no measure of your intelligence at all. It's just how well you can take the exam.
Yep. And I'll tell you this, guys, for everyone who's listening, most people who I know or speak to, everyone seems to have failed at least one of these exams. So don't ever let that hold you back. In fact, you might even consider, making that just a part of your approach. Like, well, somewhere along the way, maybe I'm going to fail one of these, but I'm not going to let that stop me, which I think is one of the reasons why that approach of, if you can handle it, scheduling all of them, which means buying all of them ahead of time, really helps, because you're just basically forced to just move on to the next one, and subsequently not slow down. So let's do one more here. I also want to hear some ideas about what you did to celebrate. I feel like everyone seems to have a different way to kind of celebrate, either taking the exams or passing the exams. Joe, maybe I'll start with you. Did you do anything to celebrate, along the way?
Yeah, I'd say it was mostly just the day after taking the exam or the day of, grabbing beers from friends after work and kind of just not thinking about architecture for a solid couple of days, besides work, of course, but just, give yourself a nice long weekend or just time away from it.
Yeah. Okay. And Kate, how about you?
I saved a bottle of wine. I bought a bottle of wine the first test I took and saved it and would let myself have it until all the tests were done.
Awesome.
That was my reward.
Awesome. Courtney, how about you?
One of my favorite ways to celebrate was to text the few people that I had been talking to and that were encouraging me that either were also taking their exams or had just passed them, and just getting their reactions. Because if you post on Facebook, people are like, oh, cool, I'm not really sure what that's all about, or I thought you already were an architect. But if you text people that are in it and know how hard it is, it's awesome to feel their encouragement and love.
Yeah, that's really cool, especially when you have a tight-knit group like that, which it sounds like you really do. And then I think, Megan, you're last, right? How about you?
Yeah, so I didn't have much time to celebrate having taken them, but when I was all done, I got a new puppy, which now actually ended up being more work than anything, but that was when I finally passed them all, I got a puppy.
That's awesome. Okay, good. That's great. I love this one here. One, I think my favorite one, I probably say it every single time. I think Josh from Land & Bone Baker told us that after he took every single exam, he went to buy himself a Lego set. Whether he passed it or not, he didn't know, but he bought himself some Legos every single time. So everyone's got their own way to celebrate these things. So I guess for everyone listening in here, I'd recommend coming up with an awesome way to celebrate, because it's a ton of work. So, and I should mention to everyone who's listening, I'm not sure if you can see all these comments. We have a ton of questions and comments here, but a lot of people here are also saying that they failed some exams as well. So again, I just think it's worthy to note that so that no one feels bad about it, because that's probably the biggest thing we hear is that somebody fails and then they kind of get skunked and they just don't want to kind of move forward.